right. Good evening, y'all. We about to get this party started. You know how we do around here on the Black Factor. I'm your man, Brian Forbes. We gonna make this tonight gonna be. I always say I'm gonna start the show, and I ain't gonna go too far. Thank you to Shura and Robert Marshall. Appreciate y'all checking in. But I always manage to go further than I intend. So it just kind of happens that way. You know, we get on these rants sometime. And I say we, I mean me and my multiple personalities. I guess you can call it whatever you want. But look here. If you paid attention to the title, tonight's show is about Black Lives Matter and the Misguided Mind. I'm probably going to hurt somebody's feelings this evening. But you know how that goes. I don't give a damn. You be all right. So y'all get ready, stay tuned, and we gonna get it in, y'all.
Door number 2 or door number 3?
Oh, wow. Oh, all right, okay, all right. No, wait, okay. All right, no, wait. Oh, wait, Monty. Door number 1, 3, 2, 8. No, wait, hold on.
All right. My man, Big Nate in the building. Ken, I see you. Robert Marshall, to sure. Thank you for checking in. My man, Alejandro in the building. WB Reese checking in. I see you, brother, my man. Appreciate y'all checking in. Okay, so we're going to jump right down into this. We're going to, I'm going to go ahead and start stepping on toes right away. No, before I do that. So check this out. Y'all's man Trump, right? I don't know how many of y'all know already, but he claims he didn't know nothing about retweeting this thing he retweeted where he had some of his followers out there with all their Trump signs hollering white power. He said he didn't know that part, but he retweeted it anyway. So I guess he must agree with that ideology, which, of course, it's no shock. I mean, it's a shame that we have gotten to a point where the president of these United States can do so many foul things and nobody makes a big deal out of it. You know, that's just amazing to me. We live in an amazing time. You know, I can remember when some of the things that are being said and done would literally have cost someone their political career. But these days, it just seems to be business as usual. I ain't sure what to make of that, but, you know, what we gonna do, right? So, in the meantime and in between time, the coronavirus is running rampant, y'all. We're going to have to start taking more precautions and being more, to sure say, that ninja knew. Yes, he knew. We're going to have to start taking a few more precautions, y'all, about making sure we take care of our business out here because, you know, people are dying. You know, this is not a joke. And as a matter of fact, even before I get started, I'm gonna try not to shed a tear here, y'all. A good friend of mine, childhood friend, my girl Jamie. I'm giving this shout out to her, Jamie Burgess Bentley. Apparently, she passed away today. I found out from her sister. And it's very upsetting to me because Jamie was one of my childhood friends. We had lots of good times, and we did, we was kids, man. We skated, we stepped, we did everything, man. We just did all kinds of things together. And it's funny story. Jamie, may she rest well. Her father was the first man to ever chase me away from his house about his daughter. I came over there to visit one day on my bicycle. I thought I was going to go see Jamie. And her daddy came outside and he asked me what I wanted. And boy, he yelled at me. I took off on my bike, never to return. So, Jamie, you rest well, sweetie. And my condolences and blessings to the family. I hope you all find strength in the person that she was, because she was a absolutely beautiful and sweet individual. Absolutely. So there's that. Lamont, you said it's funny that I got a post from Facebook telling me that I cannot post on any white power pages or they will delete my page. You know, an interesting thing about that, Lamont, is that I saw someone posted a thing today where they were talking about now that Facebook is about to start trying to block people talking about Karens or making Karen videos. And then some Karen put up a video saying that people shouldn't say Karen because it is derogatory, kind of like using the N word. And then I thought to myself, what sense does that make? Because Lamont, you're absolutely right. On 103rd Street, she lived on 100. I believe it was 104th or 105th, and I sure took my ass back down 103rd. You got it. Anyway, Facebook has decided that they don't want people talking about the Karens, but something occurred to me about the post, and that was that how do you fix your mouth to say that? And this was a white woman, of course, and she says that using the term Karen is kind of like using the N word. Well, it's unfortunate that she thinks that there is a parallel in that she doesn't have to behave like a Karen, therefore she doesn't have to be referred to as a Karen, while we still have to walk around proudly, I might add, wearing our black skin and being who we are without the opportunity or option of changing that so that we don't be labeled as whatever her brethren choose to call us at any given time that begins with the letter N. Anyway, because it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. And I promise you, I don't answer to that one. As a matter of fact, since we on that subject, let me just say this. I have learned that responding to behaviors such as that is more fun when you use a level of tact and education in order to do it. Like, why even entertain it? Because I'll tell them like this: look, man, y'all been doing that one for 400 years. You ain't got nothing better than that. You can't come no better than that. That's all you got to call me. Come on, dog. Really? And then I begin to agitate until I'm able to get enough, either a rise out of them to do something stupid, or they decide to walk away because they have become agitated by my taunting. Yes, I will taunt you. Anyway, I'm gonna deal with right quick before I get way off into this thing. Let me give this quick shout out to my girl Tara, right quick, for Royalty LLC out of Florida. Y'all got to pick up this product. Some good stuff. Some of y'all on here drink her tea. It's great. Her tea is fantastic. I love it. It is loose tea. It's not the kind in the little baggies. You got to have your little strainer thing to go with it, man. And it's off the chain. She got a lot of good flavors. Y'all check my girl out. Royalty LLC. That's my girl Tara. You see her information down there. Reach out to her. Check out her product. Go to her website. It's royaltyllc.info. Don't you know? All right. So this clown got on and said that he didn't know anything about these people yelling out white power and all this kind of crap. And then he turned around and put a video up of these other white people wielding automatic weapons or semi-automatic weapons at peaceful protesters, as though that is going to scare some people off or something. I don't know what makes these people who go and buy automatic or semi-automatic weapons or go and buy their AR-15s and things of that nature. And I happen to be one of those people, by the way. But I don't know what makes some of these people believe that if they jump out there with their big old gun and start waving it around, that people are going to be in fear. Let me be the first one to let you know they did not stop making them when they made yours. And if you think for 1 second that people are sitting idly by and not paying attention to your shenanigans, you are sadly mistaken. I had a friend of mine ask me the other day. He said, I think it's a problem that white people spend a lot of time going and buying weapons and having all of this stuff. They got all of this stuff, and we busy buying gym shoes and things like that. And I said, well, I slightly beg to differ. Because here's the thing. It's not that people like me and others don't buy these guns. In fact, I have a few friends that are quite well armed. And trust me when I tell you that's an understatement. The difference is that we don't have a God complex. We're not walking around waving our guns around at white people, threatening to shoot them if they look at us sideways. We have no need for that. But don't believe for 1 second that we are not fully aware or fully prepared in those situations. You know, everybody want to be a gangster till it's time to do some gangster shit. At least that's what somebody told me one time. Anyway, that brings me into the next part of what we gonna talk about tonight. Oh, and by the way, y'all are paying attention to this coronavirus thing because it's doing its job. You know what I'm saying? It's doing what it was designed to do. And when I say designed, I don't necessarily mean by man-made, although some people do believe that. But I hate conspiracy theories, so I am not one in that school. However, it doesn't matter whether it was man-made or whether it was done by nature. It is a thing, and it is killing people. And the only people who don't seem to think that this thing is going to take a toll on this country or don't care are our politicians and some of our larger business entities. And the fact of the matter is, and I said this before, and if you're one who's been on this show and spent any time hanging around me here, you'll know that I said the virus does not have a political party, nor does it have a religious belief. It is a virus. It is designed to kill, be it by God or by man. It's going to get you if you're not taking care of your business. And if you think you can legislate it away, you are sadly mistaken and a fool. And if you're not careful, I put a meme on my Facebook page today that stated, we had a phrase, and this is when we're going to start getting into the messaging. We had a phrase that said, click it or ticket. And that was when they began to legislate wearing seatbelts. You either had to put on your seatbelt or you would get a ticket. You'd be punished and fined and so on. Well, I put this post up and it said, mask it or casket. And of course, the outcome of that one is a little more final than a ticket. But I think it's poignant. I think it's timely. And I think it meant something. Now, I did get that from someone else, but I thought it was very, very, very important to put that out there. Because you need to understand that this virus is unforgiving. Now, it does affect some people differently than others. However, do you want to take that chance? It's kind of like playing Russian roulette. You down for that? Speaking of weapons. All right. So look, y'all. Last couple of days, I have been seeing more and more and more posts where people, particularly my Chicago family, are saying things like Black Lives Matter don't mean Black lives don't matter to black people, and Black lives this and that. Or what is black? Where's the outrage? Why ain't Black Lives Matter doing something in Chicago? Let me be very, very, very clear for you right now, right here. And if you have anyone that you run across that says these things out of what I can, and I don't want to name call, it is ignorance, but I don't mean that in a derogatory way, because ignorance is basically not knowing. Well, now I'm getting ready to tell you. Black Lives Matter was created for the purpose of dealing with law enforcement as it pertains to unarmed black men or black people being killed at the hands of police. Black Lives Matter was never intended to be the thing that comes into Chicago and stops what's going on because of what, in my best guess, for the most part, is bad parenting. I mean, let's keep it 100, man. There ain't nothing going on in Chicago no different than the rest of the country. But for some reason, people in Chicago seem to think that killing each other is somehow a way of life. How did it, how did it get that way? Where did that come from? Okay. Black Lives Matter has absolutely nothing to do with the crime in Chicago. It was an organization created to fight police brutality and death of black people at the hands of law enforcement, not to fix every ill in the black community. It's not what it was for. Here's the problem. We're going to have to stop being puppets, okay? Even some of us, including myself, who believe that we're free, and we don't think I don't think I'm a puppet. I know I'm not a puppet. I can think. I'm smart. I know my way around. I'm not a dummy. Well, if you've ever heard me say this one before, you're going to hear it again. It is easier to trick people, fool people, con people, than it is to prove to them that they have been tricked, fooled, or conned. Let me repeat that. It is easier for me to fool you than it is for me to prove to you that you've been fooled. Now, I want you to think about that. Let that sink in. Let it soak. And the reason why is because you'll begin to realize that sometimes when people tell you things and you think that what they're saying to you is real until you find out differently. But sometimes it's a little harder for you to absorb the truth later on because you had it made up in your mind that the first story you heard actually was the truth. You have to be careful the way we digest information. We have to be careful the way we take things in. And we have to use discernment. We have to use our ability to think and process information. And everybody ain't good at it. Ain't no need in lying. Everybody needs to, folks need to stay in their lane. Everybody ain't the best at figuring things out. So, as we move about in this world, things come in front of us all the time, right? But the problem is, I don't know how many people on here are familiar with advertising and the way advertising works. The people who are geniuses at advertising, or what I like to refer to sometimes even as spin doctors, those individuals who know how to take something that's happening and make you or give you some idea that it didn't really happen. Our liar and thief in the White House has a crew that is very good about spinning things. They are brilliant at it. They package these messages and they put them out there and they say them over and over and over again. And some people, and I'm telling you, you can tell by their following, some people, it doesn't take much to convince. All they got to do is say it 2 or 3 times to these people and they start believing it right away. Sometimes some people have to hear it a few more times. And I'll use this as an example. I remember when the O.J. Simpson trial took place. And I remember when he was acquitted. And I remember that black people were very excited about that outcome, particularly because we have been underdogs for so long. But I also remember black people constantly saying, he didn't do it. He couldn't have done it. He was innocent. He didn't do it. But then all through the media, every TV show, somebody made a joke about him being guilty, getting away with murder. Every radio show, he got away with murder. And the list goes on. And that went on for years and years and years. It's still going on. And everybody wanted to believe. White people didn't care. All they wanted was that he was guilty. That big black man killed that white woman. Now, if you ask black people, they'll say, oh, he was guilty. Oh, he did it. See, that's conditioning. That's brainwashing. Fake news. That's what you hear come out of the Mango Maniacs camp. What was that thing they used to say? Alternative truth. They'll take a lie and call it an alternative truth. And people actually bought into that. There is only one truth. Period. There's no getting around that. That's the truth. Anything else is not the truth. But people, they fell for it. See, the problem is that we have to learn how to hear the message, how to receive these messages. And unfortunately, read between the lines, because everybody is not going to be honest. They just not. We got to stop buying into the fallacies and the things that we're told to believe in. They're puppet masters. And if you're not careful, and if I look real closely, I can see some of them little clear strings running from your neck and your shoulders and your arms and your lips. You become the puppet. You become the manipulated, the bamboozled, the hoodwinked, the run amok, the led astray. It's not a difficult thing for those who know how to tell you how and what to think. Look, we have to establish on our own, amongst our people, what our agenda is. We have to figure out the problems that are facing our community and stop letting other people tell us what our problems are. Where do you think the idea that Black Lives Matter was something that should be a part of all of the other problems in our community? Because they told you that's what you're supposed to think. And we fell for it. Now, let me not say we. Some of y'all fell for it. Some of y'all are still running around here hollering Black Lives Matter because it's a catchy phrase, but they don't matter to black people. Why does Black Lives Matter have anything to do with what's going on in your community? If it ain't got nothing to do with the police attacking a person of color wrongfully, I ain't saying the police shouldn't do their job, but wrongfully, what does that have to do with the Black Lives Matter movement? They are there for the purpose of law enforcement abusing their power where black people are concerned, not because Ray Ray and them shot Bebe and them on 43rd, well, 55th. That ain't got nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Now, my thing is this. We are going to have to focus. We are unfocused as hell. Okay? We have to stop allowing other people, other media sources, other people's agendas to invade what it is that we are trying to do or what we want to accomplish. You can no longer afford to allow someone else to tell you how you're supposed to feel about what's going on in your world. Until that stops, I don't care what slogan or phrase or anything else you yell out, it's not going to matter. This problem is way bigger than Black Lives Matter. It always has been and it always will be. Stop allowing other people to tell you what the agenda is by stressing to you that black lives don't matter to black people, so why does it matter? That's letting other people dictate to you what's going on. And you have to stop doing that. You have to have thoughts of your own. Think. Do you know how many brilliant minds we have in our own community that never get used? that if they actually took the time and thought about some things, the same way they think about garbage, how much further we would be as an entire society. We have been turned off for so long. When that switch come on, though, baby, look. But let me show you something. They know. They know when that switch comes on, the danger that they're in. And that's why they're going to keep you off balance and doing what you're doing. See, what I want to know is, for all of my keyboard commandos and my keyboard complainers, when are you going to stop sitting at home or on your cell phone waiting for they to save you? When are you going to do something that benefits your community instead of saying, what are they going to do? Y'all have heard it here before. You're going to hear it today again. You are they. You're the they that makes the change. But you have to decide that you want the change, and you're not just paying lip service to your internet feed or your friends on Facebook for likes. See, people think they're saying something profound. They jump out there, yeah, black lives don't matter to black people. And everybody get the little love symbols up there. You know why? Because you're all asleep. And if you think you woke, you're sleepwalking. You go and you pat each other on the back for saying something that you think sounds smart, but it's not smart. All it is a parroting. You're parroting what you've already heard. You're parroting information that keeps you in the dark. See the puppet strings? I see them. Yep. I see the puppet strings. You're being told how to do nothing. You're being taught how to be inactive because you're saying things that, and it wouldn't even be so bad saying these things if you had a solution. Complaints don't mean jack. Everybody got one. What we gonna do to fix it? What's the first step? What are you going to do to be helpful to yourself and in your community? What we have to do, what the great minds of our society need to do, stop. How many of y'all watch football and basketball? Stop playing defense all the time. You're always playing defense. Every time something happens, we own the defense. We own the defense. It's time to start playing offense. It's time to start scoring. You cannot score when you're on defense. You got to at least steal the ball before you can score. You got to get off of defense. It's time for offense. That means moves have to be made. That means plays have to be created. But you can't create them if you're sitting on the bench talking about, man, you see what he just did. Did you see that? Man, what they gonna do? Or you sitting in the sideline, you sitting at home on your television. Man, look at this game. This game is horrible. They garbage. But you ain't even suited up. See, when every time you see somebody talking that crap on Facebook that ain't doing nothing, you either a bench warmer at best or you in the stands. You ain't getting a damn quarter. You paid them to go there to complain. You are, in the grand scheme of things, nothing. If you don't get up and get out and get in the game, you don't count. And nothing you say counts. Think about this. And I'm even going to use myself as an example. I have this platform that I use to say things and talk to people every day. But let's keep it 100. In the grand scheme of this thing, I'm nothing. I appreciate, man, look, y'all have no idea how much I love the fact that you come here and allow me to try and convey messages that I hope spread. But ultimately, I don't even have the kind of voice or reach that would allow me to put these messages in the mainstream in a way that would rally people to move, to get up, to make something happen. But I'm going to take what I got and I'm going to use it. I'm doing what I think I can do. That's why I wrote the book. That's why I do the things that I do. It's why I try to get involved in the community and active. Don't forget to get your copy of The Black Factor, bmforbes.com. Read some of the stuff that I'm talking about. If you're not in the game some kind of way, what sense does it make to sit there and complain? There has to be solutions, and you can't create solutions by sitting there telling everybody else what to think. By sitting there talking about, well, black lives don't matter to black people. First of all, why would you blanket all black people? Why would you say that all black people feel that way? It's just not true. I'm black. I don't feel that way. I think Black Lives Matter is a great thing, but I also understand what Black Lives Matter means and what it is. I'm not trying to make it be something that it's not. I'm not trying to co-opt it the way people like to co-opt ideas. It's time to begin to play offense and get off a defense, y'all. Black Lives Matter is not the poster child for every one of society's ills in the black community. The same people who have that mantra, who believe that, are the same people who said that Barack Obama didn't do nothing for black people. Barack Obama, as was stated by some white folks, and now I'm going to parrot what they said, is not the magic Negro. He was not going to walk in the door and push a button, and all of a sudden 400 years of mind-numbing conditioning was not going to just disappear. It's not how this works. Everybody gets conditioned, white and black alike. Here's the difference. White folks get conditioned to accept the privilege that they have, even when they don't realize that they have it, even when they don't know that they are taking advantage of their ancestors' behaviors and treatment of others. Sometimes they don't know this. There are some who do. Kind of like the man that was on the golf cart in the Trump, the thing Trump was in supporter talking about white power. He gets it. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not mad at him for getting it. At least he understands who he is and what he has. And like I always say, power concedes nothing without demand. Some folks know what they have, and they're not willing to give it away. And they'll do everything that they can. They will fight you tooth and nail to keep it. And that is exactly what those people are on. I can't get mad at nobody for trying to survive. Although we all know that it doesn't take for us to knock down other people in order to make ourselves better. Unless, of course, you're afraid that you're not good enough. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Our last president was degraded, dehumanized, politically castrated. He got all of the pushback. They even talked about his kids and his wife. Not one scandal. Not one. They fought him every chance they got. They fought him for everything he attempted to try to do. They tried to shut him down, no matter how good it was for the entire country. It was not good enough for white folks. And it wasn't good enough for some black folks. Imagine that. If a white man had been Barack Obama and done exactly what he did, he would have went down in history as one of the greatest presidents ever. Easily. He may still do that, but there will be no question. No question whatsoever. But like Dr. King, he was or has been ostracized, called a troublemaker, and a whole bunch of other things that we won't mention here. Even made fun of by his own people. How depressing is that? However, I am still confident that history will smile fondly upon that brother as time moves on. Right now, like Dr. King, see, after he was killed, people wasn't, they weren't really tripping. But here we are, 40, 50 years later, and everybody, oh, Dr. King, oh, Martin Luther King, nonviolent. Oh, yeah, he was the man. People who ridiculed him, some of our older generation, older than me, of course, who talked about him badly, now want to brag about, I was there. I marched with Dr. King. Boy, stop. Okay. Again, I'm confident that history will smile fondly upon Obama's legacy, despite all of the hatred and misunderstanding about what he did, and in a time when racism began to blatantly reemerge and rear its ugly head in our society. There has to come a time where we stop allowing others to tell us how to feel, what we should be upset about, when we should be upset, what our reaction should be, and what our behavior should be in light of whatever they do that's not good for us. See, everybody wants to tell you what you're supposed to do. I want y'all to remember something, and I don't remember. Unfortunately, I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sure one of you will help me. The white lady who was an instructor who teaches about racism, the older white woman. I know y'all know who I'm talking about. Well, anyway, I watched a video of hers recently, and she made the point of saying that education is indoctrination. And it is true, because like Malcolm X said, you're a fool when you let your enemy teach your children, which in fact is what we do every single day. We send our children out into these school systems, because how can you believe that they have your child's best interest at heart when they're still teaching them that Columbus discovered America and things of that nature? Thank you, Darren Honeycutt. Yes, Jane Elliott. How do we continue to believe that we are going to get ahead in a society that we all know, number one, was not designed for us? We all know that there have been adjustments made to the Constitution and other social areas in order for us to fit into this country. I'm not sure what anyone expects to receive in these United States by asking. I've yet to see anything given in this country for the asking to black people. My point in all of this is that the messages have to begin to become clear. We have got to get beyond allowing others to co-opt messages that are benefiting us. Black Lives Matter benefits black people. Black people are mad because it's not benefiting them in the way they think that they should be benefited. To this I say, get up, begin a movement of your own, the same way those people saw a need that needed something that needed to be done. They got up and they did it. They created that movement. Now, because they knew what needed to be done, Black Lives Matter came to life. And I thought this the other day to myself. I said, I wonder how it feels if you're one of them who created that and realize that the movement that you created has gone global. Like, you see BLM everywhere. It's now a household word. There's nothing to stop any one of y'all or anybody else from doing the same thing. But let your agenda be your agenda, and don't try to make Black Lives Matter's agenda something that it's not. You want to deal with the killing, the gun violence, or whatever's taking place in Chicago, create the movement for that. Now, that brings me to this. Apparently, Father Flager, and anybody that's from Chicago knows who Father Flager is, and let me just put this out there right quick for those who don't. Father Flager is a Chicago legend, a staple in the black community. Father Flager is a white man, the whitest of white men you could probably ever meet. He has done more in the black community than some black folks have done for themselves in Chicago. And I mean that on everything I love. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You can't. I already know you can't. Period. I put money on that. Anyway, Thursday coming up. Now this is for all my my keyboard complainers. If you in Chicago and you still complaining about all of the things going on in Chicago and the violence and the children getting killed and all of the things that's going on, and you ain't at this event, stop it. Don't just stop. Every black person in every black community in Chicago should be at this protest. Protest for all black lives. Demand killings of all black lives to stop. Murders by police and community violence. Not just one, but both. Okay, Thursday, July 2nd, 6:30 p.m., the Faith Community of St. Sabina, 1210 West 78th Place, Chicago, Illinois. Everybody know about St. Sabina. Parties and everything else used to go on there. Okay. There's a phone number at the bottom, 773-483-4300 for more information. Father Flager's doors have always been open to all of those. That man has endured death threats and everything else in the name of providing in the black community in Chicago. So when somebody like him gives an event like this and you're not there, you should have nothing else to say. This is almost like not voting. You don't vote, don't complain. Just shut up. Now, you're so busy worrying about what's going on in the community in Chicago. Get up, get out, show numbers, show of force. Be there. Be there. Because we already know 4th of July weekend is hot in Chicago. You dig? All right, my cousin Reggie Sykes on the line. My man say, I will be there. Thank you, cousin. I appreciate you, and I know you about that life for real, for real. That's one of our educators right there. There's a black man who truly educates. He don't just give them a little bit. He give them the whole game, the way it's supposed to be given, and not just the Columbus discovered America. Black lives do matter. If you got a problem with what's going on in Chicago and you not at this event, I ain't really trying to hear nothing you got to say, because you just running your mouth. That's what it boils down to. And I know it's a bunch of them that run through this page on this feed on my line, and they see what's going on. And I'm going to say it again. If you ain't there, quit your bitching. Real talk. Put up or shut up. Here's the challenge. So I didn't plan on going on long, y'all, today. I just wanted to get a few things off my chest. We're putting together a package for my newest sponsor here, Froth. And I have tried the shea butter. I told y'all the other day I was going to try the shea butter. The shea butter's off the chain, man. It's a whipped shea butter. That thing feel good, boy. It's going to take me a day or two before I check out the exfoliation. She got the exfoliant. Y'all need to check that out. It's gonna be it's some good stuff. I'm gonna put her information up in a few days. Now, just for the record, just so y'all know, I didn't come on yesterday. I took a day off, but I won't be back on until today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday when I come back, because we're about to revamp the studio once again, and I'm in the middle of some other stuff we got going on. So we're going to make some changes around here. And as I do, and everything that I do here is to make this a better experience. I want to make it the best possible experience that I can, so that not only am I able to continue to convey information to you, but I can do it in a way that's pleasant to the eye. I want to give you that eye candy, make it something that you all enjoy and that you will share with your friends and bring others along. Always remember, you can get me on Twitch at The Black Factor. You can also get me. Thank you, Renee Ford. I appreciate you putting that up there. Yes, frothnatural.com. You can get me on Twitch, or you can catch me on YouTube, BM Forbes on YouTube. And because all of these they go live through YouTube and Twitch all at the same time while I'm on here with you. So if you ever want to check out one of those other platforms and you don't want to be on Facebook, you can always go on one of those while I'm on live, and you will see me there. And you'll see the same feed, identical feed. We do it all at once. So I think I got everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanna again thank all of you for coming on. When I come back on my next show, we're gonna cover some more of that good educational stuff, like we got into the other day. We're gonna bring history forward. And we're going to make some explanations about the connections between then and now, because they are critical. And it's something that needs to be done. So, with that said, I just want to say thank you all. Y'all are making this a hell of an experience for me, and I appreciate it very much. I almost feel like this is where I belong, and these are the things that I need to be doing, because I want to help my people be the best that they can be. And if I can plant one seed that grows into a mighty oak, I'm going to be a happy man. I want us to get it, man. I want us to get it, and I want us to think. I want us to put more thought into the things that we say and do, and not just be paying lip service to everything. It's getting old. It done got old. It ain't getting old. It done got old. It's time. It's time, y'all. It's time for us to create our own agenda. It's time for us to remain focused and stop playing puppet to the puppet masters. Stop thinking about who they is and start paying attention to who we are, because they is not coming to save us. It ain't no savior. It ain't no great white hope. Ain't nobody coming to pick us up and take us away from all of this. We either going to make it better or we going to perish in it. Pick one. Black Lives Matter is not the poster child for every ill in the black community. Stop saying that it is. And I'm gone, y'all. Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Or door number 3.
Oh, wow. Oh, all right, okay, all right. No, wait, okay. All right, no, wait. Oh, wait, Monty. Door number 1, 3, 2, 8. No, wait, hold on.